Hi everyone, we'll begin at 3:35.
Victor, can you let Josh in?
Okay, hi everyone. Welcome to today's seminar regarding retirement plans. Yeah. So let's take a look here first. So in retirement, most Canadians have nothing saved for retirement of age 45 to 64, 32% of people. And 53% of the people actually don't know if they're saving enough because retirement is a long, long period of time. Let's say you retire at 65, you die at 85, hopefully. You have 20 years of living costs that you have no working income if you do not work. So Canadians say they'll need average of $756,000 saved to retire comfortably and have a good life. And that's not even factoring any inflation throughout the years. And 43% of women nearing retirement don't even have a formal plan of what they want to do for retirement. What are they going to do with their finances? And Canadians only save an average of $184,000 for retirement. Think about that. If that was 20 years and you're not working, that's only $9,200 to live off per year, and that's very, very less.
So why begin planning for your retirement? Well, first of all, you don't want to work forever. An increasing inflation rate, cost of living is rising. By planning for your retirement, you can also increase your life expectancy, growth in your retirement, and ensuring financial security in when you're older. By planning for your retirement, there will also be less of a need to depend on your family when you're getting older or at the age of retirement.
So the potential benefits of investing as a retiree is financial security. So in investment, there's a good source of income for those who have retired from the workforce because investing can create some additional cash flow. For example, if you save up your money when you're 20 years old till you're 65, you have that money that keeps adding on. And then assuming that long-term growth, the total amount of assets you'll have till retirement will be much more and you'll be living much more comfortably because you do not have to worry anything about money because you have financial security.
So what are things to look for when investing as a retiree? First of all, low risk, because volatile investments are probably not ideal for retirement because then you're putting your savings at risk. Second of all, moderate returns. Using a rate of return of 6% or 7% is something good to look for retirement because it's steadier. Third, high liquidity. You're looking for how quickly an asset can be converted into cash. And typically when approaching retirement, your investments are going to be much more conservative than if you were investing as a younger person.
So I think everyone has heard a lot about an RRSP, maybe from your parents, maybe from a financial planner or anywhere else of seeing ads. So an RRSP is a registered retirement savings plan. This is registered with the government, and it's a type of financial account that you can hold your savings and investments that were meant to be for retirement. So why was this introduced by the government? This was introduced by government to promote savings for retirement by employed or self-employed people. So only employed or self-employed people. Because having a sufficient amount of money for retirement is very important. So this RRSP, since it's registered with the government, there's a lot of asset and contribution restrictions. So there's certain things you can't hold in there. And an RRSP can be set up at a financial institution, such as a bank.
Main benefit is tax deferral. Contributions into your RRSP are tax deductible. Savings and growth are not taxed until withdrawn at any time, and taxes that are paid on your contributions when withdrawn. The benefits of that is marginal tax rate at withdrawal may be lower than at contribution, and it can lower your income at contribution, which may increase your government benefits.
Yeah, because Canada uses a marginal tax rate where if you, let's say you earn, I think up to 40,000, you pay 15% on that tax rate. And then once you're up to around 100 something thousand, you're paying around 43%. So when you're making $100,000, you can probably contribute to your RRSP. Let's say you contribute $10,000, you save 43.2% on that $10,000. But once you retire and have no more income, you take that $10,000 out. You don't have any more income. So you're taking out at the lowest tax bracket at 15%. So then that means you save that difference from 43 to 15%. So that is good. So there are contribution limits to your RRSP because if it's that good with all the contribution and the tax deferral advantages, there has to be a limit somewhere. So there's contribution limits of 18% of your net employment income of your previous year to a maximum of $27,230. So 18% on your only employment income, not on investment income. So unused contribution lists, they can be held for future use, so they roll over. And any contribution over that personal limit, one, will not deduct taxes. Second, will be subject to fines by the Canada Revenue Agency. So as you can see on the right, there's an RRSP deduction limit statement. So after you start filing your taxes, they'll give you a limit that starts accumulating already now, even if you're below 18 and you're working. So it'll show how much you're able to deduct and how much you're able to contribute into your RRSP.
Oh wait, sorry, Victor, I can't see the PowerPoint.
Wait, I think it's working. Is your screen okay?
Can you give me a second? I'm gonna switch to.
Yeah, I'll do the slide then. So what can you hold in your RRSP? So in your RRSP, you can hold mutual funds. Mutual funds are provided by the bank, and they are where they take a pool of money from lots of investors to buy into a variety of stocks, similar to ETFs, but ETFs are listed on the market for buying and selling, even though they hold these funds. So also number 3 is bonds. So bonds are when you lend money to the government for a set interest rate. This is where there's a lower rate of return. However, there's basically no risk. Same with savings accounts. You're leaving your money in your savings accounts with the low interest rates. Same with GSEs. GSEs are locked into basically putting money in a savings account. However, it's locked for a certain amount of time and you're paid a certain amount of interest. Right now, that interest rate is very low, but sometimes it's higher. Also, you can hold foreign currency, such as if you think the US dollar is going to go up, you can hold your RRSP fully in US dollars. Lastly, it's US and Canadian stocks. So you can buy stocks into your RRSP, such as even like Tesla or buy anything. But most people choose to buy either mutual funds or leave it in GICs because, as mentioned before, they want stability in your retirement fund because you don't want to be losing all the money you have for retirement. So let's take a look at this slide. So let's say you graduate at 22 years old from university. You work till you're 65 years old and you retire. So each month, let's say you contribute $1,000 into your RRSP every month from your 22 when you graduate and start working till you're 65 years old. So in 43 years, you contribute $1,000 a month, monthly, until 65 years old. And using the historic return rates of the S&P 500, that is around 9%, which has done pretty well in the index. So if they were to contribute that much for that one along that much time, you would have around $6.2 million when you retire in 43 years. So look at that. That number really adds up, even though you're only saving around, let's say, $12,000 a year, 43 years, you're only saving around $500,000 because that compounded growth in your return is pretty substantial. So a lot of questions when people ask is, how much do you need for your retirement? So prices are going up. So given the 3% inflation rate, which is pretty conservative, in 40 years, the cost of living will be 330% more. In other words, a cup of coffee probably is $2 now, and 3 years later will be $6, $7. So assuming that you spend $60,000 per year according to current price, so you're living pretty well in expenses. And after retirement, you survive for 20 years, 65 years old, and you die when you're 85, which I believe is a good estimate. And after factoring in that 330% in inflation, you'll need around $4 million in savings for you. So excluding any pensions, because sometimes you get pensions from the government, and assuming a 9% growth per year in your investment based off the S&P 500 index funds, you'll need to save around $650 per month from your graduation at 22 years old until your retirement at 65 years old to have enough for a comfortable life.
Some advice for retirement or some tips that we have are, first of all, to contribute as much as you can to your retirement plan within the RRSP limits. Second, choose investments that align with your goals. And third, make a plan and stick with it.
Yeah, so if your plan is to hold, let's say, the S&P 500 for long term, don't like day trade in your RRSP or have a goal and just stick with it. So the best time to start planning for your retirement is yesterday. So it's never too early to start planning for your retirement because a lot of the amounts add up and compound over time. If you start doing it earlier, you get that growth rate as soon as you can. So even though it may look long time ahead, it's actually not that long time ahead. It's not that far away. So start planning now. Yeah, so we have some reflection questions for everyone. So first one is, what is the RRSP? Second is, what benefits do RRSP bring with regards to taxes? And number three, when should you start beginning to plan for your retirement? So please send it to the chat. And yes, Mr. Josh Wu, I have started planning for my retirement. I start investing because I put it into an RRSP. So tax deduction, no one likes taxes. Yes, Linus, you put all your savings into NK. Yes, NK would be something called a high risk investment. So once you're approaching your retirement, that would not be a suggested investment because you don't want to lose all your money before your retirement. However, if it's a longer period ahead, let's say you're 16, 17 right now, your retirement's like 50 years away. Yes, you can take a risk and invest it into NK if you would like.
We have one answer.
Okay, let's look at Jerry's first. So Jerry, RRSP, yes, it's a registered retirement savings plan. Mr. Josh Wu, I put all my savings into DN. Okay. Okay. Sean, okay, RRSP, yes, it's the retirement plan. Second benefits, yes, it decreases your income, so you pay less percent in taxes. Yes, so once you contribute into your RRSP, it does decrease the income of that year. So it is a tax deduction. So most likely you'll pay less in taxes. When should you start planning for your retirement? As soon as possible. Yes, Josh. RRSP is a retirement plan. Yes, Jerry. Number 2, you pay less in taxes. Yes, in most situations you do pay less in taxes because usually after you retire, your marginal tax bracket is much lower than originally when you contribute into your RSP. Number 3, as soon as possible. Yes. Linus. RRSP is a registered retirement savings plan. Yes, that is correct. Number 2, benefits. Tax deductibles can't spell. Yes. When should you start planning to plan for your retirement? Last year. Well, that's not wrong. I'll just wait for any more answers. Sure. So thank you so much for coming to today's seminar, and we hope to see you next time. If you have any questions, please type them into the chat right now and we can go over them.